In a dramatic and dangerous escalation, Pakistan has bombed the Afghan cities of Kabul and Kandahar just hours after Afghan forces launched a cross-border assault on Pakistani troops along the disputed Durand Line. Explosions ripped through Kabul before dawn on Friday. Residents reported at least 3 blasts. The sound of aircraft roared over the capital. The precise targets remain unclear. Casualty figures are still unconfirmed. The strikes came after Afghanistan said it launched a retaliatory military operation late Thursday, claiming Pakistani airstrikes last Sunday killed civilians in Afghan border regions. Afghanistan's Taliban government declared what it described as large-scale offensive operations against Pakistani military bases and installations along the 2,611-kilometer Durand Line, a border Kabul has never formally recognized.
In response to the recent airstrikes carried out by Pakistani forces in Nangarhar and Paktia, heavy clashes have begun tonight at 8 p.m., Thursday, in the eastern zone. Border and infantry units of the 201 Khalid bin Walid RA Corps have launched intense attacks on Pakistani militia posts in various areas near the so-called Durand Line in Kunar and Nangarhar provinces. Praise be to God, the operation which has been started are retaliatory operations and instructed by our leaders. In the eastern zone, in Nangarhar and Kunar provinces, the operation started Thursday night at 8 p.m. and the operation is going successfully. So far, Mujahideen have captured 8 outposts on the Pakistani side. The fighting continues and it will continue until we don't have any instructions from our leaders.
We started the operation at 8 p.m. tonight and it's a retaliatory attack to take revenge for our countrymen. We will fight until we haven't a drop of blood in our body. They have martyred our students of madrasas and schools, they have bombarded our mosques.
In a statement posted on X, Taliban spokesman Zabihullah Mujahid said operations were launched in response to what he called repeated rebellions and insurrections by the Pakistani military. Afghanistan's defense ministry said fighting was unfolding across 5 provinces. Kabul claimed it had captured more than a dozen Pakistani army posts. Pakistan rejected that claim outright. Information Minister Atullah Tarar dismissed reports of captured posts as false and described Afghanistan's actions as unprovoked aggression. According to Afghan officials, up to 55 Pakistani soldiers were killed, with 23 bodies allegedly transported into Afghanistan and several troops captured. Islamabad gave a sharply different account. Pakistan said 2 of its soldiers were killed and 3 wounded, while claiming 36 Afghan fighters died in the exchanges. A spokesman for Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif denied that any Pakistani soldiers had been captured and insisted Pakistan was delivering what he termed a strong and effective response. Meanwhile, fighting erupted in the strategic border town of Torkham, a key crossing point for trade, migration, and refugees. Mortars reportedly landed in villages on the Pakistani side. Police said there were no confirmed civilian casualties, but residents were evacuating amid rising fear. On the Afghan side, authorities began evacuating a refugee camp near the Torkham crossing after several refugees were wounded in crossfire. The latest violence occurs against a backdrop of deep mistrust and unresolved grievances. Pakistan accuses the Afghan Taliban of sheltering TTP militants, the Islamist militant group that has killed hundreds of Pakistani soldiers and police since the Taliban's takeover of Kabul. Just days earlier, Pakistan's military conducted airstrikes along the border, claiming it killed at least 70 militants hiding in Afghan territory. Afghanistan rejected that narrative, accusing Pakistan of striking civilian areas, including homes and a religious madrasa, and killing women and children.
South Asia is on edge after Pakistan bombed Afghanistan early on February 22. In a dramatic escalation of tensions, Pakistan carried out fresh strikes along the border into its neighboring nation, Afghanistan. According to the Associated Press, Pakistan said the precision strikes aimed to target militant hideouts blamed for recent attacks inside the country. According to Afghan local media and the Pakistani Ministry of Information, the Pakistani Air Force reportedly carried out airstrikes in several areas of eastern and southeastern Afghanistan. Although Islamabad has not specified the areas of the strikes, footage on social media showed the huge impact of the airstrikes inside Afghanistan. Pakistan's Information Minister Ataullah Tarar wrote on X that the military conducted what he described as intelligence-based selective operations against 7 camps belonging to Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, or TTP, and its affiliates. He also said an affiliate of the Daesh group was targeted. Pakistan's Public Information and Broadcasting Ministry said that Pakistan has conclusive evidence that these acts of terrorism were perpetrated by the Fitna al-Khawarij, or FAK, on the behest of their Afghanistan-based leadership and handlers. Responsibility for these attacks was also claimed by Afghanistan-based Pakistani Taliban belonging to FAK and their affiliates, and the Islamic State of Khorasan Province, or ISKP, the country's ministry added. Afghanistan's Tolo News reported that Pakistan struck Kogiani, Ghani Khel, Nangarhar, and Besud districts in Nangarhar Province. Tolo News reported that a spokesperson for the Nangarhar Police Command said the Pakistani military targeted a civilian's home in Besud, resulting in 23 family members being buried under the rubble. The strikes came in the aftermath of recent suicide bombing incidents in Pakistan. On February 16th, Pakistani security personnel in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province were targeted when an attacker, backed by gunmen, rammed an explosives-laden vehicle into a Pakistani military post in Bajaur district. The blast caused part of the compound to collapse, killing 11 soldiers and a child. The authorities later said the attacker was an Afghan national. Also, just hours before the latest border strikes, another suicide bomber targeted a security convoy in the nearby Banu district in the northwest, killing 2 soldiers, including a lieutenant colonel. Fuming over back-to-back terror strikes, Pakistan vowed to avenge the killing of its soldiers and warned it would not allow any attack launched from Afghanistan to go unanswered. Pakistan's foreign ministry had also summoned an Afghan diplomat over a recent terrorist attack in the northwestern province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, near the Afghan border. Pakistan has accused Afghanistan of sheltering TTP terrorists and being responsible for a surge in cross-border attacks, a claim Afghanistan denied. Islamabad urged Kabul to take measures to prevent terror groups from using Afghan territory for attacks on Pakistani soil and to dismantle the alleged sanctuaries of the TTP terrorist group inside Afghanistan. In October last year, Pakistani fighter jets conducted strikes deep inside Afghanistan, targeting terrorist hideouts. Pakistan has seen a rise in militant violence in recent years, much of it blamed on the TTP and outlawed Baloch separatist groups. The TTP is closely allied with Afghanistan's Taliban, who returned to power in 2021 after the withdrawal of American forces. According to Pakistani military officials, more than 500 people, including over 311 soldiers, were killed in attacks largely carried out by the TTP last year. Relations between the neighboring countries have remained tense since October, when deadly border clashes killed dozens of soldiers, civilians, and suspected militants. The violence followed explosions in Kabul that Afghanistan officials blamed on Pakistan. A Qatar-mediated ceasefire has largely held, but talks in Istanbul failed to produce a formal agreement, and relations remained strained. Also, the strikes come at a time of rising global instability, with ongoing tensions between the United States and Iran, adding to fears of a wider regional crisis.